If there's a military force capable of facing the shadows of fear and the unknown, it's the U.S. Marines. Each of these men and women undergo intense training that prepares them to deploy to combat zones or high-risk missions that exceed most people's abilities. However, some challenges surpass any training, and what you're about to learn about surpass the capabilities of one of the world's most powerful military forces. Their stories have become a testament to the horror that lurks in the most inhospitable places on our planet. And if you're ready to meet them, you'd better get comfortable and follow us to the source of the horror. Number 3. The Beast of War. Our first stop takes us to Quang Tri, Vietnam in 1968. There was a small outpost of the 3rd Marine Reconnaissance Battalion guarding a strategic area that the North Vietnamese Army had seized from U.S. troops. The Vietnam War had just begun, and the 3rd Battalion was tasked with being invincible and guarding the enemy settlement. To do so, the soldiers moved through forests and valleys until they found a good observation post. However, no one imagined that they had arrived at the lair of a beast for which they were unprepared. That night, the group made camp, taking care of all protocol. A team of lookouts stood guard, and in general, there were few incidents, at least until the creature appeared. It was a mighty tiger with a robust body, stealthy steps, and an unquenchable thirst for blood. Hidden by a moonless night, the animal approached the camp without even raising the alert of the lookouts. Not a single person was able to perceive it, and before anyone could notice it, it attacked. The beast tore necks, shredded flesh, and left extensive pools of blood all over the camp until one of the men managed to utter a pitiful cry of alarm. Immediately, the camp awoke following protocol and training, but they weren't prepared to see such a massacre. The animal was in the midst of carnage. The ground was littered with blood, guts, and human flesh. The beast had a dark and stained coat and still had the fingers of its victims stuck between its large teeth. Immediately, the troops opened fire on the animal, but it managed to elude them with unnatural ease. The creature escaped, but curiously, days later, another tiger with similar characteristics attacked a camp not far away. Again, the number of murders inflicted was considerable and remained so for several months until the American troops finally succeeded in slaying the terror of their nights and one of the greatest horrors they faced during that war. Number 2. An Enemy in the Ocean. When talking about the ocean of World War II, it's impossible not to mention the mighty Japanese submarines that ruled the ocean depths. Thanks to cutting-edge technology and powerful engineering, the Japanese were able to impose their dominance on almost any territory, but there was someone just as deadly. It was a monstrous and elusive shark that managed to surprise the veteran crew of the USS Indianapolis, a ship sent on a secret mission. According to the reports of the time, the Marine Battalion had the mission of delivering the components of the nuclear bombs that would put an end to that bloody war. However, in the middle of its journey, the Japanese submarine I-58 managed to intercept it, and after hitting 6 torpedoes in its hull, the USS Indianapolis took 12 minutes to sink. The picture looked bad, perhaps too bad, but it got worse almost immediately. Not only were the crew struggling to survive in the middle of the ocean, but a monstrous creature began to prowl around them. The shark had a destructive jaw and an atrocious appetite that didn't slow it down for even a minute. In fact, it's estimated that it took only 4 minutes to begin its massacre. The beast attacked the poor soldiers one by one, as they plashed and swarmed, desperately fleeing to some place that would be far away from the ocean beast. Unfortunately, their efforts were futile. The USS Indianapolis had 900 soldiers on board, but only 316 managed to survive. It's estimated that this shark managed to kill more than 150 people, which has sparked the theory that there wasn't just one of these creatures, but an entire herd. Nevertheless, the numbers are still chilling. The ocean witnessed one of the largest massacres committed by sea creatures, and since then, this shark has gone down in history as one of the biggest killers during the war. Number 1. The Invisible Enemy. It may seem surprising, even far-fetched, but the deadliest enemy in the history of the Marines and almost any other military crew hasn't been the enemy's side or some extraordinary event, but the hundreds of diseases that can be caused by one invisible little creature, better known as the mosquito. This is no joke. The mosquito is responsible for more than 700 million cases of malaria, dengue fever, chikungunya, yellow fever, Zika, and a host of other diseases that not only weaken the body and paralyze basic functions for weeks, but can take the lives of even the strongest soldiers. Marines stationed in tropical locations or in certain camps have found themselves at the mercy of an enemy they cannot fight. They cannot defend themselves against their attacks. Their bites are precise and bloody and can occur hundreds of times in a single night. There is no way to take down this powerful adversary, and this is why many within the military consider them the greatest enemy they have ever faced. After all, they have claimed the lives of thousands of Marines without them being able to fire a single bullet to defend themselves. Isn't it frightening? Zone 0. But if we're talking about real monstrous creatures that have generated serious damage, not only to the Marines but to most of the troops stationed in remote bases in different countries around the world, those are the humanoids. And no, these aren't just theories or isolated facts. We're talking about a set of complaints, reports, and files documenting the numerous attacks that have been recorded in various countries around the world. Marines who have witnessed these events narrate them as a chilling, a frightening experience from which many haven't managed to emerge unscathed. The humanoids that are usually described in these reports have certain features similar to those of any person, such as postures, faces, hands, or legs. There's something much more chilling. They usually have aggressive behavior, grotesque deformities, extraordinary abilities, and strength capable of breaking a man in half. No two humanoids are alike. Each one offers a different image, an approach to creatures that seem to have been born in the shadows or in the most remote places of our imagination. Often, these humanoids attack camps, kidnap sentinels, or annihilate supply caravans. Their attacks are true ambushes, and they're never seen twice in the same place. The history of the Marine is full of such cases. Although they are usually archived and hidden under strict security protocol, most of them often feature impossible stories and unexplained events that, for many, are nothing more than an unknown reality that we have yet to learn about. However, to explore these mysterious events a little more, we have compiled some incredible events, documented attacks, and facts that will leave you completely baffled. As long as you're willing to join us in the following videos and live an experience that will make you discover that what seems impossible is real, perhaps too real. Would you like to join us in this new adventure? If so, then just check out the following videos.